Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. So today we are going to talk about very important topics and some huge news that broke out today about 6 to 7 hours ago. But we are first going to talk about La Liga. It says here La Liga is set to start on June 20th and end on July 26th. The government needs to make it official. Lejanes coach also confirmed the same, adding that matches will be played on Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. So if we are talking about June 20th to July 26th, that is a month and 6 days, which is a very little time frame, right? And then we also have another report, and we have IFAB, which stands for International Football Association Board, who are responsible for the laws in the game. They claim that there will be 5 substitutions per team, and it has been permitted by the IFAB to help aid players return. They have also stated that the amendment currently applies to competitions that are scheduled to finish before the end of the year, and a review will be conducted at a later stage over whether to carry the rule into next season, which basically says that they're going to question, should we allow this 5 substitution rule to go on into next season? But as for this season that we are going to have, which is through June 20th and July 26th for La Liga, we are going to have 5 substitutions. And just a side note, just to give you guys a good idea of just how squeezed in we're going to be from June 20th to July 26th, we're basically going to be playing one game every 3 days, and that's not including the UEFA Champions League matches. But as for the substitution rule, I believe there's going to be pros and cons to this, right? Yes, it's good that we are going to allow the players to rest and give other players a chance to play, but one of the cons, right, one of the big problems with this is that I don't think many teams are going to want to take advantage of this rule. And the reason why I'm saying that is because by the time we get into our 4th sub for that team, let's say for Barcelona, right, because this is a Barcelona channel, so let's say that by the time we get into the 4th sub, you're basically going to be having a whole new team on the field, which gets your team into a new rhythm of play. And you don't want that in the middle of the match. You want your full team to be in full rhythm around the 20th, 30th, 40th, 50th minute. You don't want to restart that and have these players try and get into the rhythm of the game. You know what I mean? You guys should get an idea of just how football works. We have all seen football many times before. We know, and you know, that the coaches don't want to drastically change the whole team's rhythm in the middle of the game because it does affect your result by the time that game finishes. And I also believe that it might hinder the tactical tweaks because the coaches could be saying that, okay, we have done these 3 substitutions, but I also have to put a 4th and 5th. So the coach is going to have to say okay, how am I going to fit my 4th and 5th in these plans? And it's going to feel forced. And when you do force a player in there, you won't get the best results. And so those are the few problems I have. So yes, there are pros. The players will rest, but I don't think that the coaches will take advantage of this. Like I said, I think that we are going to see many coaches, not in just Barcelona, but in multiple other teams, who are going to stick to their main 3. And since we are talking about La Liga, I do want to talk about Luis Suarez very quick. So according to Moy Llorens, who is from ESPN, he claimed on Twitter, he said, Luis Suarez completed today's training session without any issues or problems and at the same rhythm as the rest of the team. And so this is great news to hear as a Barcelona fan, right? Luis Suarez is back. He was out for 4 to 5 months. He was injured back in January, and to hear this is amazing to hear. Our attack is slowly starting to come back, and Luis Suarez has worked extremely hard for this moment, and he's finally getting it, and he will finally get to participate in the next upcoming matches, which is going to be in June and July. And our first 2 matches, I believe, is going to be against Mallorca and Lejanes. So now moving on to the next topic of the day, and we are going to talk about a very important topic. We are going to talk about Araujo and Todibo. So according to AS, we have a very reliable journalist claiming that Araujo will be promoted to the first team of Barcelona, while Todibo will be used in some exchange operation. Araujo will remain in the first team squad. Barcelona rules out signing a defender. President Bartomeu has changed his plan. He wanted a defender. Now he rules out signing a defender due to the lack of finances. And reading this, right, I think that this is not a plan that Barcelona had before. I believe that this is a plan that they had not too long ago, where they said, okay, this is what we are going to do. And this is very interesting to hear because I believe that Barcelona only wants to sell Todibo just to accumulate more cash in order to get their hands on Neymar Jr. and Lautaro Martinez. This is why we are seeing these very dramatic transfers. Who would have thought that we were going to see Todibo leave this summer? And I think that Barcelona are choosing a route where they're going to have to replace a youth player for another youth worth player. And I believe that Barcelona is so invested in this idea that Barcelona do want to bring citizenship to Araujo. And we can see here, according to Radio Catalunya, Barcelona's bet for the 4th center back spot in the squad is Ronald Araujo, and the club will even begin the process of helping him obtain citizenship in August. So could we potentially see the exit of Todibo this summer? Because this is a player that never had a full season with FC Barcelona. This is a player that never started in more than 2 games for FC Barcelona. And this is also a player that has shown great skills on the ball for a defender. And this is also a player who demonstrated great quality, great skill, and a great display in Germany. And one of the biggest questions that I have for FC Barcelona is, if we do sell Todibo, does that mean we keep Samuel Umtiti? Because we have heard from multiple sources that Umtiti is a man that's on the market. We have heard multiple sources claiming that Umtiti is in negotiations to complete the Neymar operation. Umtiti can go back to his homeland and play for PSG and be that Thiago Silva replacement. He has also been under the radar from multiple Premier League clubs, and Umtiti is worth 40 million euros. This is the big problem, because Umtiti is worth 40 million. Why don't Barcelona just sell Umtiti for 40 million instead of selling Todibo for 25 million? If their objective is to get Neymar and Martinez, the best solution is to sell Umtiti for 40 million. That's almost double the price of Todibo. And according to Miguel Rico, who is another reliable journalist, he claimed that Barcelona has received several offers for Junior Firpo and Todibo. Roma loves them both. Vidal has talked with Roma to specify their transfers. Barcelona is asking for 25 million euros for Firpo and also 25 million euros for Todibo. So again, Samuel Umtiti is almost double the price of Todibo. And so this is the question that I want to ask you guys, because I really want to hear your guys' opinion. Should Barcelona sell Todibo this summer? And do you agree that Araujo can take Todibo's spot for next season and be that 4th center back for FC Barcelona? And look, in my opinion, this could have gone a lot worse. Barcelona could easily just take a 31-year-old center back and switch him in for Todibo. We have seen Barcelona do that before, not just in the defensive line, but in the midfield line and in the attacking line. And look, at the end of the day, we are switching a 21-year-old, which is Araujo, for a 20-year-old, which is Todibo. But then again, we are missing on a big chance of having 2 young, big potential center backs to play in the same team. And this is a dream that multiple teams would love to have. And so again, let me know what you guys think. Should Araujo be the man to replace Todibo at FC Barcelona? And do you guys think he's ready? Now moving on to the next topic of the day, and we are going to talk about some very surprising news. So we are going to talk about PJANIC. So according to Sport Mediaset, they have said that PJANIC has agreed to join Barcelona. Juventus want Arthur in exchange, but the player wants to stay. Other midfielders like Rakitic and Vidal have been offered to Juventus, but Juventus are not interested. Negotiations are going on, and there has been other reliable sources claiming that PJANIC is interested and does want to go to FC Barcelona. And look, this news, this is nothing new. This has all been going on for multiple weeks. We have been following up on this transfer for a very long time, and this PJANIC to FC Barcelona rumor has all started when Arthur was the man to be used to bring in PJANIC to FC Barcelona. And look, you and me and everybody else in Barcelona know that this move will not happen. We will not allow to bring in PJANIC and sell Arthur Melo, one of our biggest potential midfielders that could play for FC Barcelona and can serve Barcelona well for the next 6 to 7 years. Arthur Melo is untouchable. That cannot happen. And Barcelona were open to these negotiations. But then Arthur said no, he will stay. He wants to fight for his spot. He understands that last season, well, not last season, I'm talking about the beginning of this season of 2019 and 2020 season was not his best season. But Arthur is willing to fight, and when Arthur is at his best, when he is healthy, when he is fit, Arthur Melo is world class, which makes him untouchable. He will not be in any deal for PJANIC. And look, this is the one thing that I do want to point out from this report, right? This is an agreement between PJANIC and FC Barcelona. This is not an agreement between Juventus and Barcelona. And there's a huge difference between these two, because like the report says, Juventus is not interested in Vidal nor Rakitic. And let's take a closer look at these two players, right? Let's start with Vidal. It says here, according to Romeo Agresti, he said that Arturo Vidal was proposed to Juventus in January, but the Italian side has replied replied, "No thank you." Based off this statement, Juventus already said no to Arturo Vidal. They don't want Vidal. Vidal has played with Juventus back in 2015 when Vidal was much better, but Juventus wants to move on. They want to bring new players in. Then moving on to Rakitic, we already know about Rakitic's situation. We talk about him like every 4 to 5 days. Rakitic wants to go to Sevilla, and if he can't go to Sevilla this summer, he will see out his contract until 2021. And there has been multiple sources claiming that Barcelona and Rakitic will have a meeting this summer to discuss his future. Now, there was a third option that Barcelona presented, and this is where it gets very, very interesting, right? Because it says here, according to Montblanc official, they have stated that in the discussions between Juventus and Barcelona, Barcelona also proposed Dembele, but Paratici is not interested in Dembele. And if you guys don't know who Paratici is, he is the CFO of Juventus. But yeah, they claimed that they are not interested in Dembele. And what a deal that would be for Juventus, because if they gave us Pjanic and they in return get Dembele, who when fit is an amazing player, that would be such a deal for Juventus. But that's the problem. Me saying when fit is the big problem for Juventus. Dembele is rarely fit. I think the main reason why Juventus said no thank you to Dembele is because Dembele does have discipline problems. And when you are not disciplined, you get more injuries. And when you get more injuries, as a club, you do not see the ROI, the return of investment. And so we have mentioned 4 players, right? It is Arthur, Rakitic, Vidal, and Dembele. And if it's none of these 4 players, then who is it going to be? And that is the point that I'm trying to make, is that the Pjanic and Barcelona agreement means absolutely nothing, and I don't think that Pjanic will come to FC Barcelona. Now, it's too early to decide. Something can happen tomorrow, and I think the best solution for FC Barcelona would be to give out Rakitic for Pjanic. There could always be a possibility of Rakitic going to Juventus. And if we look at the graph here, there is a huge improvement between Rakitic and Pjanic. And if we really compare Pjanic and Rakitic, I think this is the reason why Juventus want to bring in the right suitor if they do let go of Pjanic, or bring in Arthur Melo. Maybe this is the reason why Juventus will not let go of Pjanic unless they get Arthur Melo, because Pjanic is an upgrade of Ivan Rakitic. And so now looking at this graph, now looking at the possibilities, if I were to rate this on this transfer happening 1 out of 10, 1 being the least likely, 10 being the most likely, if I were to really rate this on Pjanic going to FC Barcelona, I will give it a 4 out of 10. So that is it for today's Barcelona Daily News. If you guys are new here, thank you guys so much for being here. I am happy that you are here. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, be fully engaged in the comment sections. I would love to talk to you guys about football, about anything related to FC Barcelona, maybe sometimes even other teams. But yeah, if you guys are new here, welcome to the channel, and I will see all of you guys in my next video.